All right. Hello, friends. Jim Alfredson here, sitting at the XK5. It's a beautiful Thursday evening here in Michigan, and thank you for tuning in. This is the first time I've ever done one of these live stream things, so we're charting new territory here. In the background, this is my friend Duncan McMillan's record that came out a few months ago, and it's called Room with a View. Go look it up. Great organ jazz. It was recorded here in Lansing, in Detroit, and I mixed it, and it's a great record. Duncan's playing some killer organ on it. That's my little spiel. Today we're going to do something really fun. This is a great day for Hammond enthusiasts worldwide, because we have a brand new product here called the B3X from IK Multimedia, and there it is on the screen right now. We'll turn this music down. Yeah, buddy. I apologize for the noise. My mic is a little noisy. The B3X, this is a product that is released by IK Multimedia in conjunction with Hammond organ, Hammond Suzuki, and it is a virtual Hammond B3. That idea itself is not necessarily new. We all know that there's other options out there, but this one is special. IK has done a fantabulous job on this, and Hammond, of course, has some secret sauce that they provided IK to really nail the sound. You can see the interface is really cool looking. It's a skeuomorphism to the extreme, which is what we like. And I'm going to shut up and play a little bit, and then we'll come back to it. I'm, again, sitting here at the XK3, and the XK3 is MIDI'd to my laptop. I'm running this on a MacBook. I think it's a 2012 MacBook, and it's running at extremely low latency through a Steinberg interface. Nothing fancy, but it works. So I'm going to turn down the microphone real quick and play a little bit here. All right, that's a little taste. Hopefully everything's sounding good. So yeah, so the nice thing about this plugin right out of the box is that it sounds great. I have not done that many tweaks to it at all, just kind of a little bit of percussion. I changed the percussion just a hair. I turned it down a little bit. I like my percussion to be a little softer than what almost every organ emulator, I guess I should call this, a virtual Hammond or whatever you'd like to say. I liked my percussion a little bit softer, but that's a personal taste thing. So that's really all I changed. I added a little bit reverb, and we'll get to that in a second. Let's start digging into the menus here. If we click on the gear, this brings up our audio and MIDI settings. So you can see we got it going through our Steinberg, and I've got the buffer down to 64. I could get it a little bit lower, but it was getting a little bit, my computer is old, so it wasn't quite handling it, but I did get it down to 32 last night. It was pretty good. It wasn't glitching at all. And then you can set all your CC for your MIDI over here. Then right here, you'll see a Hammond profile. When you turn this on, you can, it basically preloads a MIDI profile for the Hammond hardware instrument. So right now I have it set to the XK series, and that's how I can, use my drawbars and my half moon and my expression pedal and the vibrato tab. Even the vibrato knob from the XK works. So you can see I can click that and it turns the coarse vibrato knob, which is pretty cool. The percussion buttons all work. Turn those on and off here. Pretty awesome. And even the presets work. So I can go through the presets and it sends program changes and the whole works. So that's pretty awesome. But of course, if you don't have an XK or an SK, you can play it from pretty much any keyboard and set up your MIDI controllers right here. I'm hoping in the future they will add the capability to save your own profile. I'm sure that's on the docket. That would be awesome. These do save automatically when you close the program. So if you do change them, like I was using this in the studio just yesterday, actually at a rehearsal, and using it with a Nord Electro 2, I believe it was, and looked up the Nord drawbar continuous controller numbers and set those in there, and it worked just fine. It was great. And they stayed in there when I loaded up just today. They were still in there, so I had to set them actually back to the defaults. So that would be nice to have like certain profiles, or maybe even a default button to set them to reset them back to a default. But I'm sure that will come in an update. And obviously transpose right here. You got your MIDI channels. So this is all pretty basic stuff. If we click down here in the bottom to controls, I really like this screen right here because this is good for live use. This gives you all the necessary playing controls in one little area. And you can see my drawbars work just fine. And I think what's kind of cool is above the drawbars, you'll see these little info tiles here, the infographics, I guess you could call them, representing your presets. And you can see that the one that I'm on, which is white right here, the B preset, you can kind of see how they're set up like a keyboard too, right? This is B, B flat, and below it A flat, etc. They do change when you change the drawbar, which is pretty cool. So you can set up a couple different presets and go between them. Set these two up like this, right? We can have full drawbars on this preset. Have our Jimmy Smith on this one, right? Pretty cool. And you can instantly see what your settings are and just click on them and there you go. Set them to whatever you want. Same thing on the lower manual. Got our Leslie switch with a brake button, which I have a 3-position Hammond CU1 half moon connected to my organ, so I get that automatically. And then your volume tabs, vibrato knob, your percussion, and your expression pedal are all right here. So this is a really nice view if you're playing live and you just want a quick overview of what's going on. And actually, this laptop does not have a touchscreen, but I do have a PC laptop that has a touchscreen. And I've already messed around with getting the drawbars to react, and it's pretty cool. You can actually play the drawbars on the touchscreen, so that's pretty slick. So if you don't want to bring something that actually has real drawbars on it, you can actually control the drawbars from a touchscreen, which would be really cool. So that's that view, very good. If we go into advanced, we get our tone wheels, and there's 4 different models of organ in here. There's a 1971 A100, they give you the serial number, a 1960 A100, a 1956 B3, and a 1955 B3. Right now I'm on the 56 B3 because it's closest to the one that I own. They do sound quite a bit different. Here's the A100. Get some distortion from the Leslie, it's kind of cool. We'll pull out all the drawbars so you can kind of hear. So that's the 71, here's the 60. A little brighter actually, which is interesting. Here's the 56. Got a little more leakage, a little more overtones in the tone wheels. Here's the 55. It's probably the mellowest of the bunch. I really dig the 56, that's just me. And then you got this tonal balance knob, which kind of changes the balance between the highs and lows. It's kind of like the tone control on the back of the preamp. Your leakage control right here. Key click. The key click on, so the key click when you press the key the first time. Key click off when you release the key. Key click color, which is nice because you can make it so it's darker, which the 2 series tends to have kind of a dark key click versus some of the later series, probably because of the capacitors and the tone wheel generators. Your percussion controls, percussion volume, whether the percussion dips the drawbars or not when you put it on normal, decay time, and your chorus settings. You can do presence boost or how much chorus is in the mix. All right, so that's pretty standard stuff, really nice. Yeah. Let's go into the Leslie sim. This has the Leslie sim from IK Multimedia that came out, I think last year. It's a pretty awesome Leslie sim. Actually, it's probably the best I've ever heard. Not probably, it is the best I've ever heard. Yes, that includes the ventilator. It's remarkable. In fact, I'm using it on a recording right now where the Leslie that we used in the studio, it hadn't been rebuilt yet, and it was very dark sounding, and it just didn't work. And thankfully, I took a direct off the back of the preamp on the C3. It was a C3 at the studio, 57, I believe. And so I'm putting that straight into the Leslie plugin. And the only issue is I have to go and map exactly where I was switching to fast speed and such. So that's going to take a while, and actually program it into the Leslie by hand into the plugin, but that's not a big deal. But it sounds so much better and it sounds so much more realistic. And so like the plugin, you have a ton of controls here. We can go from 90-degree mic setup to the classical 180. Pretty cool. We can change our mic distance. We can get them away from the cabinet a bit. Bring them closer in. Thing's so much fun to play, I just want to play it. And control our slow speed, our fast speed, acceleration time, deceleration time, standard stuff. Here's the Leslie amp. So we can do a 122, which is what we're on right now. The 122A. This is just the amplifier, not the cabinet. The 3300 amp. And 147 amp. Not a whole lot of difference between those so far. No amp. Which is kind of interesting. And then we can start using some guitar amps. Oof! Watch out. Let's turn the volume down on that bad boy a little bit. So that's like the G37 Leslie. That thing's rocking. It's like a British, like a, probably like a AC30 or something. Then this says high amp. I like that one. That's cool. So that's like driving your Leslie with a guitar amp. That's pretty sweet. Let's go back to the 122, and then we can change the cabinet. This does actually have a ton of changes quite a bit. The 122 cabinet's a lot brighter. 47 cabinet's different. There's the 3300 cabinet. Sounds like a 3300. And the Studio 12. Sounds just like it. It's pretty awesome. Let's turn this back up. Then we have Leslie EQ, so we can EQ the mid and the low and the highs. That's pretty awesome. And here's our guitar amp. We can actually just go straight into a guitar amp if we want. So in other words, we can go to this mixer and we can turn down the Leslie. So now we're not getting any signal, and we can turn up the guitar amp and choose which one we want. Right? Change our gain. Pretty cool. Here's the high watt. Unmute it. Oops, it is unmuted. And as you might have noticed in the mixer, you can combine the two, so you can have a Leslie and the guitar amp. If you click the button beneath the volume knob, it mutes that amp. So here's just the Leslie. Nice. And then we do have a direct signal as well. So that's kind of nice. We can add that in. Sounds good. Okay, so then we get into the, we'll go to post effect in a second. Here's the stomp pedal board. You got a overdrive pedal, looks like kind of like a tube screamer kind of thing. A chorus pedal, so you can get that Tony Banks thing. You can turn the Leslie off and just use this. That'd be kind of cool. A 10-band EQ, a spring reverb, and a wah-wah. So let's stop the Leslie. So that distortion you're hearing in there is actually the Leslie model itself distorting, but when we turn this bad boy on, I'm going to turn my mic off so it doesn't. So yeah, that sounds pretty cool, huh? The wah-wah, I was trying to get the wah-wah to react to a FC7 that I hooked up through the XK5, but I couldn't do it, and I think that was the XK5's fault, not the program's fault. But again, you can assign a expression pedal CC number in the setup here. The gear, if you go down to the bottom, it's right there, wah pedal. Right now it's set to controllers 55, but the XK5 was not, it wasn't sending any controller data for the foot pedal for some reason. Anyways, we can try it. I'm going to do it by hand, which is kind of funny, with the mouse. Let's get some high draw bars so we can kind of hear it. Sounds pretty cool. And let's turn off the post reverb, and we'll use the spring reverb, which is going to go through the Leslie. I love that sound. Nice. I'm going to leave that on for a while. And let's stop the Leslie and use the chorus here. It's a total Tony Banks thing. In fact, if we go to our Tony Banks setup here. Yeah. Trying to remember the knife, but I don't remember it. Anyways, that's pretty cool. And then into post effects, we've got this is after, essentially after the microphones, the virtual microphones. So we have a limiter, compressor, which you can beat the living poop out of it and get some kind of cool effects, like with percussion. If I turn it up and crank the limiter. It's like, turn that reverb off for a second. Oops. Kind of sounds like it's going through your phone or something, you know. And then a Neve style EQ. That's what that looks like. And then our post reverb. So this is after microphone, so it's not going through the Leslie sim. Turn it up a little bit. What's that chord? Yeah. All right. So that about covers it. I mean, one thing I do think is interesting is when you stop the Leslie, it doesn't stop in the same place every time like a real Leslie. I think it would be cool if they added a button so it does that. I don't see that anywhere, so maybe I'm missing it, but I don't see it. That would be kind of neat to have a button so it stops in the middle of the mics every time. All right, I'm going to look at your guys' chat right now and see, is it responsive to the XK5 multi-keys? I don't think so, no. It's just accepting standard MIDI data. That'd be cool in a future update if it did that. That'd be very cool. What else? Does it allow for alternative chaining? Not at this point, no. But of course, it's a plugin, so you could always put something after it in the chain in your DAW if you wanted to. In fact, if you had this and the Leslie plugin as separate entities, you could basically do whatever you wanted, right? Put this first, put a bunch of stuff after it in your DAW, and then put the Leslie plug after that. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, no ring mod. Let's see, no 31H. No, that would be great too. I would love to see a 31H Leslie model in here. They covered the basics, you know, the major ones. I think it is cool that it has the 3300 in there because that is a very different sounding Leslie. In fact, let's switch to the 3300 amp and the 3300 cabinet. You can already tell. I mean, it's way different. Kind of guy has its own thing. As someone who's owned the 3300 for over 10 years, that's dead on to what it sounds like. That's awesome. Here's our little Studio 12. It's the baby Leslie. That's cool. 147 with the 147 cabinet. It's not high end. It's a lot different than the 122. That might be one of my favorites right there. Here's the 122A. It doesn't have that bass, right? Which is cool for some things. I mean, that might work if you're not kicking bass in a track and you need it to be a little, sit in the mix a little better, use that one. 122. The high-end drawbars are just beautiful, aren't they? They sound good. Anyway, questions. Let's see. Can it run through Logic? Yes, of course. It can run in pretty much any DAW. It's available in... Oh, I see somebody answered that below. Cool. I'm a bit behind, guys. Sorry. Microsoft Surface Book 2, touchscreen, USB MIDI controller. Yep. Yeah, you could definitely do that. Wouldn't that be cool? I did a gig last year, I think it was, in March, down in Curacao. And the back line was all messed up. They were supposed to have at least like something with drawbars, like a Nord or something. And I show up and there was a Yamaha MOX6 on top and like a CP4 or something on the bottom. That was it. I'm like, okay. So here's my laptop. And I had a Dell touchscreen laptop and I had acoustic samples B5 on the laptop, which has been my backup for years just in case everything else goes wrong. And used the touchscreen to change the drawbars and it worked, you know, it was fine. So something like this would work like that, you know, with this plugin it would work great. And this one sounds fantastic. What else we got? I think that's about it, questions wise. 760 would be nice as well. I agree. You know, getting something a little different flavor in there. That would be cool. You know, the nice thing about software is they can just keep updating it and adding cool things. You know, write to them and tell them what you want. Say, this would be neat. I think it'd be kind of cool to, in this plug, to have a couple different microphone options on the top. You know, 57s sound different than condensers. Ribbons sound different than 57s. So that would be kind of cool to have, you know, a couple different options there. And it would also be really cool if you could use 2 virtual Leslies. Why not? Stick them side by side, get that, you know, classic Charles Earlin type of thing where the bass just gets huge when you put 2 Leslies next to each other. I'm going to turn off the mic for a little bit and play a little bit more and then keep looking for some questions. That's a good question. Tom asked if the Leslie models have their own overdrive. Kind of, yes. If you go into the Leslie amp tab and start messing with the gain knob, you can get some pretty gnarly stuff out of them. So I'm going to turn the volume down and start turning the gain up, and you'll hear. That is pretty much as much as we can get out of it. I do wish I had a little bit more to push it a little bit harder. I don't know if we can do that. Sounds pretty crunchy. What's the 147 sound like doing that same thing? Ooh, that sounds nice. That's cool. I'd still like a little bit more. Like I want to push it just a little bit harder because it sounds so good. It's like I just want a bit more. That's cool. 122A. It's nice it still sounds good with chords on that one. 3300 is probably going to sound a little wacky. Yeah, it's solid state, so it's not giving us anything. It does have a tube section in that, but I don't really hear it. That'd be interesting to talk to them about how they modeled that. That 147 sounded killer though. Wow. Yeah. What else we got? Does it have Midi Learn? I haven't seen that yet. Midi Learn. I'm hoping that they do put that in. This is version 1, so the sound is killer, and I think the interface is killer. But yeah, Midi Learn would be awesome. Oh no, there it is. It's right there. I'm wrong. I'm so sorry. So if you right-click on the see, that's why I didn't think so, because I've been using this on a Mac, and I'm not a Mac guy. The original beta was only on Mac, not on PC, so I was like, oh, where's the Midi Learn? It's because you have to right-click, and right-clicking on a Mac is a totally different thing than right-clicking on a PC. Sorry, IK, I was wrong. Yes, it has Midi Learn right there. Awesome. So I wonder, I wasn't getting the vibrato to work on the lower manual. The vibrato great. Yeah, the swell's working. The other one isn't working. I wonder if I can get it working by MIDI learning it. But the MIDI, you know, the XK MIDI things are weird. So the MIDI, here we go. Learn. Hammond uses strange MIDI CC stuff. It's hard to it's hard to figure out. So that's the only thing that's not responding to the Hammond profile right now is the lower chorus vibrato button. Everything else is working. But yes, it does have Midi Learn. That's awesome. And it goes, you can do Midi Learn for the reverb, the EQ, compressor, wah pedal, spring reverb, the chorus. These are all on and off. So chorus on, spring reverb on, wah on. The pedal itself, the motion of the pedal has its own CC. Compressor on, EQ on, reverb on. Both pedal drawbars, lower drawbars, upper drawbars, volume. The chorus switches, the chorus type, percussion delay, percussion volume switch. Nice Leslie amplifier gain, so you can set up a knob for that, so you can crank the Leslie amplifier gain, get some distortion out of it via MIDI CC. That's awesome. And the Leslie speed, of course. Nice. And then it has a reset too. See, I was wrong. It does have reset to default. I'm an idiot. Great, that's awesome. Can you save your own profiles? No, that would be cool if you could save different profiles for different keyboards. But I'm glad I found that. Yeah, Tommy, it does. It works great. The Midi Learn works great. Cool. That is a crunchy tone, man. This versus other VSTs you've used. My favorite before this was the acoustic samples, B5. This is better. The Leslie's better, for sure. It's more responsive. And I think the tone is overall better by a long shot. And when it comes to the VB3, I've been using VB3 since it came out a long time ago, and my issue with VB3 has always been that I can't get it to fit in a mix the right way ever. I use it for demo purposes. If I'm too lazy to hook up an XK or my real organ that's down in the studio, if I'm too lazy to mic it up, I'll just use that to like get an idea down. But every time I go back and replace it with something, even if it's just an SK, it's better. That's just my personal opinion, of course. This I've already used, like I said, in a rehearsal, and I was hoping to have an example of that recording because we did record the rehearsal, and I wasn't able to get it, but it was awesome. It sat right where it needed to. Excuse me. It competed with the guitar player, which is what I wanted, because it's kind of a loud band, and it was awesome. So, how deeply can you get into the tone wheel models? You can't. You get to choose the 4 that they let you choose, and that's it. That is down in advanced. Yeah. Yep. So they got the 4, and that's the gig. If you demoed C3 on stop, I can do that for you. Let's put it in stop mode. Put C3. Turn the percussion off. And turn the drive down because that thing's cranking. Hold on a second. Put it back down to where it should be. That's without chorus, obviously. We're still getting some, sounds like still some break up there. Let's go to the 122. And I'm going to change the mics to 90 degree. There we go. It's like dealing with a real Leslie. You have to flip the switch a little bit to get it. I would like them to add a thing where it stops. That would be awesome. Come on, buddy. There you go. And of course, you can edit the chorus in the Advanced tab. So you can make it really boost the presence. It's a little extreme. And then the mix of the chorus. Here's C2 just for comparison. C1. So I wonder if the chorus changes with the models of the tone wheel models. Let's find out. Let's go to a 71. Go up to where our mix was at, I think -5 to begin with. Seems pretty similar. So you have to kind of change it yourself if you want it to be like a more modern. That's kind of cool. Can you mix the advanced preset, please? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Can you rephrase that? Can you edit the CV depth? Yes, that's right here, the chorus mix. Well, I guess that's just mix. It's not technically, well, I mean, that's kind of what a depth is, right? It's just mixing the dry signal to the wet signal. Or are you talking like the actual, the wobble of the chorus? I mean, that's kind of what this is doing. Yeah. Can you mix the advanced preset, please, like key click? Oh, you mean like save them as presets? Oh, the other knob in the chorus is the presence boost knob. So changing how much high end is added. Sorry, David, I'm still not quite understanding. So are you asking if you can save everything as a preset, like have different models on different presets? I think so. If that's what you're asking, I think everything gets saved. We can find out. We can save this one as Jimmy. Then we'll go to a different one, like that one. And let's see what's in the advanced tab. Yep, totally different organ. So yes, everything saves. Well, they already have Jimmy in here. That's not the real Jimmy. That's Jimmy Smith. So now we're back to mine. Oh, what did key click? Yeah, let's find out. Oops. Let's stop the Leslie here and turn off the chorus. So that's more key click on. Okay, here's more key click on the off. Turn both all the way up just for extremes. And then this affects the color, so it gets brighter as you turn it up, darker as you turn it down. Sounds pretty good to me. And then generator leakage is just, you know, self-explanatory how much leakage in the tone wheels. And the tonal balance. It seems a little more complex than the tone control on a Hammond. It'd be interesting to see what it's doing in a spectrum analyzer. I just love that the presets work. That's awesome. Why am I watching this now? I want to buy it. That's the whole point, man. Go get it. It's on sale. It just came out. It's awesome. Yeah, the Leslie is awesome. And the Leslie is available as a separate plugin too, so you can use it on whatever you want. That's when they told me that this was coming out, quite a while ago actually. I got really excited because of what IK had done with the Leslie plugin. I'm like, oh man, if that's any indication of how good this is going to be, then this is going to be good. and they did not disappoint. It's good. It's good, man. It would be cool if you could add a couple other things in here, but like I said, if you had the Leslie plugin, you could just, you know, turn the Leslie off in this one and put whatever effects you want in between it and the actual Leslie plugin. I'm going to play for a little bit more and then call it a night unless we have some more questions. What studio monitors are you using? How's the Leslie sound? I just got new studio monitors. I got some JBL 708P monitors, which are blowing my mind, and everything sounds good through them. But yeah, the Leslie sounds great. Between the XK5 and this, you know, the XK5 still has the edge, of course, because of the contact system. As an organ, if you're an organist, you can't replace that thing, the feel, the response. You know, they've done a great job on this, kind of emulating that in a standard MIDI format with the two contacts and everything like that, and it plays really great. And I would have no problem using this on a gig, you know, but the XK5 is a different beast. You know, it's kind of like, it's comparing, what would be the best comparison? I guess like an acoustic piano to a digital piano. Even though the XK5 is obviously digital, it responds like an analog machine. You know what I mean? So yeah, the BX3 is, or B3X, sorry, is awesome. Sounds great. It's really good for like studio work if you don't want to mic up your organ, or if you do a lot of flying gigs like me and you got to have something just in case the backline is screwed up, which happens a lot. It's going to be a lifesaver, I can tell that already. And I just did a session recently with, it was an all analog studio, so that no Pro Tools or anything, is all on tape, and it was on the 5th floor of a Masonic temple. I'm like, well, I'm not hauling the Leslie up here, that's for sure. And something like this would have been awesome. Just take a controller, your laptop, done, you know. What version is it? This is the first version. I think it's like literally version 1. Yeah, version 1.0.0. It's the very first one. It just came out. Looking at questions, sorry. How much RAM is this thing using? I don't know. I'm not a Mac guy. It's hard for me to check. If you give me a clue on how I can check that on a Mac, I will. But I'm an idiot. See if I've missed anything. Preset octaves. I don't see any preset octaves. Or are you talking the black and white presets at the bottom, Juke? They work. I can switch between them. Are there plans for an iPad version? I don't know. It's a good question. Jake Zimla just said, give us some Floyd. I got to think about that for a second. What can I do? You put me on the spot. I got to remember. What is it? What I got to find the Floyd preset here, like the drawbar settings. What would it be? Man, I'm like having a total brain fart on that one. That's it, huh? Now I have bass pedals hooked up. I got the full XK5 system here, so. So much fun. All right. Yes, XK5 system for the controller, yes. Yeah, it sounds good. Jerry Warner. All right, guys, I'm going to play a little bit more and then we're going to say goodnight. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact me on the old Book of Face. And I hope you try it out. It's pretty freaking cool. I love it. Great job, IK Multimedia. Great job to Hammond. And there's some other cool stuff coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned. It's pretty exciting times right now. I'm going to turn off this mic so it's not clickety-clacking in. Good night, everybody.